नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 20. The title is The Dynasty of Puru. And today we will discuss from verse number 2 till 13. 2 to 13. Yeah. I will read the first few verses till the purport comes, and then we will read the purport. Text 2. Janma jayo hi abhut puro prachina vansh tatsutastata praviro atho manushyer vai tasmacha rupado bhavat. Translation. King Janmejaya was born of this dynasty of Puru. Janmejaya's son was Prachinavan. His son was Pravira. Therefore, thereafter Pravira's son was Manushya, and from Manushya came the son named Charupad. The son of Charupad was Sudhyu. Son of Sudhyu was Bahugava. Bahugava's son was Samyati. From Samyati came Ahamyati, from whom Rudrashva born. Rudrashva had 10 sons: Riteya, Kaksheya, Standileyu, Kriteyuke, Jeleyu, Sanetyu, Dharmeyu, Satyeyu, Vrateyu, and Vanayu. Of these 10 sons, Vanayu was the youngest. The 10 senses, which are the product of universal life, act under the control of life. These 10 sons of Rudrashva acted under Rudrashva's full control. All of them were born of the Apsara named Ghritachi. Riteya had a son named Ranti Nava, who had 3 sons named Sumati, Dhruva, and Apratiratha. Apratiratha had only 1 son, whose name was Kanva. The son of Kanva was Medha Tithi, whose sons, all Brahmanas, were headed by Praskanna. The son of Ranti Nava, named Sumati, had a son named Rebhi. Maharaj, the Dushmanta, is well known as the son of Rebhi. And now the story begins of King Dushmanta. Once when King Dushmanta went to the forest to hunt and was very much fatigued, he approached the residence of Kanva Muni. There he saw a most beautiful woman who looked exactly like the goddess of fortune, and who sat there illuminating the entire ashram by her effulgence. The king was naturally attracted by her beauty. Therefore he approached her, accompanied by some of his soldiers, and spoke to her. Seeing the beautiful woman, the king was very much enlivened, and the fatigue of his hunting excursions was relieved. He was, of course, very much attracted because of lusty desires. Thus he inquired from her as follows in a joking mood. O beautiful lotus-eyed woman, who are you? Whose daughter are you? What purpose do you have in this solitary forest? Why are you staying here? O most beautiful one, it appears to my mind that you must be the daughter of a Kshatriya. Because I belong to the Puru dynasty, my mind never endeavors to enjoy anything irreligiously. Purport. Maharaj Dushmanta indirectly expressed his desire to marry Shakuntala, for she appeared to his mind to be the daughter of some Kshatriya king. Then we come to today's verse. Shri Shakuntala Uvacha Vishwamitra Vaham Tyakta Menakaya Vane Vedaitad Bhagavan Kanvo Veera Kim Karavamate. Shri Shakuntala Uvacha Vishwamitratma Jaivaham Tyaktva Mena Kayavane Vedaited Bhagavan Kanvo Veera Kim Karavamate. श्रीशकुन्तला उवाच विश्वामित्रात्मजैवाहम् त्यक्त्वा मेनकया वने वेदैतद्भगवान् कण्वो वीर किं करवाम ते। श्रीशकुन्तला उवाच। Shri Shakuntala said, Shri Shakuntala replied, Vishwamitra Atmaja, the daughter of Vishwamitra, Eva, indeed, Aham, I am, Tyakta, left, Menakaya, by Menaka, Vane, in the forest, Veda, knows, Etat, all these incidents, Bhagavan, the most powerful saintly person, Kanva Muni, Veera, O hero, Kim, what, Karavama, can I do, Te, for you. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Shakuntala said, I am the daughter of Vishwamitra. My mother Menaka left me in the forest. O hero, the most powerful saint, Kanva Muni, knows all about this. Now let me know, how may I serve you? Purport. Shakuntala informed Maharaj Dushmanta that although she never saw or knew her father or mother, Kanva Muni knew everything about her, and she had heard from him that she was the daughter of Vishwamitra and that her mother was Menaka, who had left her in the forest. Om Agyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamshcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamshcha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Seek the blessings of all the assembled devotees, especially Srila Prabhupada's disciples and Radharaman Maharaj. Please give you blessings. It's a little. This particular section, beginning from the previous one, there are a lot of instances where we find the dynasties are described, and sometimes one may wonder what is the use of the description of so many kings, so and so son was so and so son, 10 sons and 10 sons, then 3 sons. Actually, we are all interested in this because the Supreme Lord is going to appear in this dynasty. That is why we take interest in Bhagavatam, because it is filled with the pastimes of Krishna. Otherwise, like Prabhupada gives the example of Mahabharata, sadhus are generally not interested in hearing about battles. There are so many battles which have taken place. So many revolutions have taken place. The French Revolution is there. We hear about the Hitler's atrocities and so many Mughal kings fighting British rule. We don't take interest in those, but we take interest in Mahabharata. Why? Because the Supreme Lord Krishna is involved. That is what makes it holy. So even the Mahabharata also is a battle. There are Kshatriyas fighting, they are using armed weapons, and there is politics and diplomacy there also. But still it is transcendental because it is connected with Krishna. The whole purpose of human existence is to somehow connect one's consciousness with Krishna. And the prime means, of course, is the chanting of the holy name, and along with that, hearing about Krishna. So these different pastimes are described in so much detail in the Vedic literatures, so as to make even a common man, he will also become interested in Krishna. Like recently, because of the lockdown situation, they have been telecasting Ramayana serial on Doordarshan, national channel, And it was one of the most popular. Millions of people are watching. It broke all records. That is the contribution of coronavirus, That so many people, millions of people read the record. The first Ramayana, then they showed Mahabharata. And of course, the production may not be fully Krishna conscious, may not be onto the highest standard, because Prabhupada would say that actually the dramas should be done in such a way that all the actors are pure devotees. That is the way actually the drama should be done. Or at least they are devotees, maybe not fully pure. But here you find like Ramanand Sagar or B.R. Chopra, obviously they are good people, they are doing some service, but they are not necessarily pure devotees. But still, there is some purification because of the connection with Krishna. That is the power of Krishna, or Krishna's name, or Krishna's pastime. Somehow one becomes connected, one gets purified. Like the sun, there may be a very dirty place where people have passed stool and urine, but when the sunlight comes, it purifies the whole place. So our consciousness is contaminated by the three modes of material nature. For so many births we have been in this material world, we don't even know. Krishna bhuliya jiva bhogavancha kare pashatiya maya tare jhapatatiya dhare. We have been desiring sense gratification and Maya just captured us. And then we are wandering, 8,400,000 species of life. So there is so much dirt accumulated. But somehow or other, if one comes into contact with Krishna, either through his devotee, either through his pastimes, either through the holy name, or just the dham, there is purification. And that is what a devotee aspires for, is to constantly become purified. Human life is very short. We do not know how much time we have. We really do not know. I was hearing one lecture of Prabhupada, that was on the appearance day of Lord Nrsimhadev. The topic was Narsimha Chaturdashi. And in the end of the lecture, Prabhupada was saying, in the conclusion he says, death is coming, let me remember Nrsimhadev. That is Prabhupada's message, the Narsimha Chaturdashi day, that to always remember that death is coming. So one should be in a mood of urgency. I think most of you must have heard, just a couple of days back, there was an unfortunate plane crash in Pakistan, a flight from Karachi, from Lahore to Karachi, with almost 100 passengers. So just flying like a normal plane, just nearing the airport, just 2 minutes before the airport, it's normal. I was seeing the CCTV coverage of that. It's coming very close, and suddenly it's just went right into some residential area. The whole building was smashed, 8 people in the building, 100 people in the flight. Tragic. So, of course, the amazing thing is, who will live and who will die is all decided by Krishna, according to one's previous karma, or according to Krishna's plan ultimately. So many rich people, obviously traveling in the plane, died, and 2 of the persons who are on the plane, who are like these, the male members, but serving like air host type. And they just somehow got the intelligence, and just when the plane was very close to the earth, They saw the fire and they just jumped out. And they were saved. Of course, they had some injuries. So, it is a plan of Krishna. One of the persons who was supposed to be on the flight, working air hostess, the car to pick that air hostess did not come in time. So she missed the flight. So her life was saved. So what can be said, in life? Only thing we can say is death is sure. When it will come, we don't know. So we have to think that it may come today. That will make us more Krishna conscious. In the introduction to Krishna book, Prabhupada gives a very nice point. Prabhupada says that we do not know how much time we have, and before death comes, we have to become fully Krishna conscious. So devotee should always cultivate this sense of urgency, that I do not know how much time we have. Parikshit Maharaj at least had 7 days, but we do not know. Right now I am planning 9 o'clock prasadam. I should go in time. I will get the first items. And if I am late, then I will miss out. And if I can get yesterday's Mahaprasad sweet, which is distributed by devotees. I am already thinking in those terms. But I may not live till then. This may be the last class of my life. We should always think like this. Srila Satsvarup Das Goswami Maharaj, very senior disciple of Prabhupada, who wrote this Prabhupada Lilamrita, he asked Srila Prabhupada, how can I make rapid spiritual advancement? I want to progress very fast. And Prabhupada replied the same thing. He said, just think that today is the last day of your life. So that will give the sense of urgency. And it's a fact, one of the days will be the last day. Very few of us will live to the age of 108 or 110. Even if we have good doctors like Radhacharan Prabhu who may giving us good advice, best prasadam, best care. But Kali Yuga maximum 70, 80, 90 years, a big. Then most of us, at least myself, finish 75% or 90% life. How much life do we have? So there should be a sense of urgency, yes. Today may be the last day. Or somebody said very harsh about me, which is not true. Somebody spread lies about me. It doesn't matter. Anyway, today is the last day. Somebody stole my rasgulla. No problem. Today is the last day. I lost my laptop. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm not going to take it with me to the next planet. But Bhagavatam, yes, today is the last day. Let me read more. Japa, let me do more. Because today is the last day. Let me chant more. And let me be very respectful devotees. Let me not offend any devotee. Because even one Vaishnava aparad can block my progress to the spiritual world. Just like if you are an international passenger, you are traveling, then all your records are there in the passport. Once they type your passport number, all the details will come. Suppose you have done something wrong, you have committed some small crime. Yes, for 3 days you have been in jail because it's a crime, whether actually you have done, but it's shown there. Then you cannot travel, if you have done something, some punishable offense. So in our spiritual career, everything is being recorded. I have done devotional service for 30 years. That is a good thing. I have attended so many Bhagavatam classes. I have done book distribution. I have served. I have rolled chapatis for the pleasure of the Lord in the kitchen. So everything is positive. But even negative things are being recorded. I offended a Vaishnava. I spoke harshly to a devotee. Or even mental offenses. They are very subtle. Bhakti is so subtle. You see the offense which Shachi Mata committed an offense to Advaita Acharya. All of you know that story. The Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving love of God to everyone. Even the Muslim tailor. Because the tailor was connected with Lord Chaitanya. Obviously tailor or Muslim means he was not following principles. He was not chanting. But suddenly Lord Chaitanya showed him his darshan and he said, I have seen. He was dancing in ecstasy outside the house of Srivas Thakur. Because he was doing service to Srivas Thakur, he was sewing his clothes. He was tailor, darji. The Lord showed him mercy. And he showed mercy to Haridas Thakur by fulfilling his desire. He showed mercy to Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya said, I want to see Vishwarup. Lord Chaitanya showed him Vishwarup. But he did not show mercy to Shachi Mata. It's a very strange thing. Generally in this material world, you want to show favor to those who are very close to you. Like suppose I am a government official and my brother or my sister or my parents, they need some help. I will try to use my influence to get things done, I have contacts in the parliament or in the mantralaya. I would like to help those who are very close to me. But Lord Chaitanya, who is very impartial, he is neglecting his own mother. And then says, Shivas Thakur appealed to the Lord. Shivas Thakur, he appealed to the Lord, my dear Lord, you are showing mercy to everyone. Why not give mercy to your own beloved mother, Shachi Devi? And Lord Chaitanya says, no, I cannot show her mercy because she has offended Advaita Acharya. And her offense was so small, it's not like she, was campaigning against Advaita Acharya. She put up a blog in internet about Advaita Acharya. Or, the small point. Mentally she was thinking. My elder son, Vishwarup, he was studying nicely, material grammar, and suddenly he became attracted to Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya was having constant katha and kirtan, like the wonderful devotees doing 24 hours kirtan. Advaita Acharya's home, there was 24 hours either kirtan or katha. Actually, katha is non-different from kirtan, because the word kirtan means glorifying the Lord. Then that means either you glorify through instruments chanting or you speak Bhagavat. That is also kirtan. So there was constant kirtan. And Vishwarup would get up early in the morning, leave home and spend time completely absorbed. He would speak also sometimes, and most of the time Advaita Acharya would speak, because Advaita Acharya was the senior most Vaishnava in that assembly. Even before Lord Chaitanya's advent, it was Advaita Acharya who was praying to the Lord, please come and deliver the fallen souls. So Advaita Acharya, because of his influence, Vishwarup became detached from all material. Of course, we understand Vishwarup is expansion of Balaram, so there is no question of attachment for him. But still, from the Leela point of view, it is showed that because he was doing constant hearing, chanting, he became detached. In other words, for us also, the way to become detached is to become constantly absorbed in hearing and chanting. This question was asked by Yudhishthir Maharaj to Narada Muni in the 7th canto of the Bhagavatam, that what is the duties of the different ashrams, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. And in the duties of Grihastha ashram, Narada Muni is explaining that a person in Grihastha ashram should repeatedly associate with sadhus and hear about Krishna. And actually that applies to all varnas and ashram, not only Grihasthas, to constantly hearing and chanting. Sometimes we may be in association of devotees, but we may not be actually making progress. Just like when I first came to Krishna consciousness, I had not joined as such, but I was just a student. So I was in some place where devotees were not so sincere, and one day I found that some devotees went to see a movie, cinema. It was in America. So I was shocked because I had given up seeing movies since young age. And then I asked them, how come all of you are going, you are not supposed to go? So that devotee said, but we went in association of devotees, we went to see the movie in association. So that is not association. Suppose 4 devotees come together and they criticize other devotee. That is not association. The tendency is there. Everyone likes to speak something. And generally, a Baddha Jeev like myself, we take pleasure in criticizing others. There is some flavor which comes. Are malum hai uska kya hua? You know what that devotee did, and we want to, discuss. Now in this material world, there are many devotees who may have done wrong. But how does it benefit me or you by discussing? Unless we are in the position of helping that person. I always like the example of Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. Chaitanya Charitamrita says about Raghunath Bhatta, he was adosha darshi. He would never see faults. And when there were some faults in devotees, he would say that because he is engaged in devotional service, he will become purified. Because after all, devotional service is like taking bath. If somebody is dirty and is taking bath in the shower and still you see dirt, so be patient, it will go away. You know, I am also a patient, you are also a patient in the same hospital. Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Vedanta is the real Bhakti Vedanta hospital. This whole ISKCON is actually the spiritual hospital, where Prabhupada is the CMO, Chief Medical Officer. And there are many, many other doctors who are giving the medicine. So now I have a disease, I am vomiting, another person has another disease. So I have to tolerate you, you have to tolerate me. That is the way to remain together. Otherwise, we cannot stay in society together without the principle of tolerating. And actually you may ask, then how we are preaching? We are ourselves not pure. I am speaking on the Vyasasana. Obviously I have millions of desires. But it's like a very practical example. We are in a hospital and there is many doctors are there, but still the number of doctors is less. So sometimes the senior patients also act like doctors. Those who have been in the hospital for a long time, they know that this is the medicine to be given. So most of us are doctors as well as patients. That means I am taking the medicine, and when I am preaching, I am giving the medicine. So it's a different situation. So Raghunath Bhatta adopted this principle, let me not see faults. Otherwise, mind is such a rascal mind, dushta mana, always seeing faults. So this devotee is singing Kirtan very nicely, but what is that? He is singing, but I know what he does, or he got up late in the morning or something. We want to concentrate on the bad qualities. That is the human nature. But the Bhagavatam, Narad Muni tells Yudhishthir Maharaj that constantly be absorbed in hearing chanting. So Vishwarup was performing hearing chanting till afternoon. And then Shachi Mata would cook prasad. And then she told, Nimai, go and call your elder brother. And when Nimai would go, the whole assembly would become stunned. The kirtan would stop. And everyone would be beholding the beautiful form of Gaura Chandra, just completely absorbed. And everybody would just stop. Then Nimai would come very lovingly. He would touch the dhoti of Vishwarup and say, come, mother is calling. So then he would go back for prasad. Again he would, immediately after prasad, have constant hearing chant. So the principle is that Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayat Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayadai. If you do bhakti properly, automatically detachment will come. Automatically you will feel distaste for material enjoyment. Like Prabhupada was giving the example that how do I know that I am becoming cured? Suppose I have fever, viral fever, not coronavirus, some other fever. Coronavirus is very dangerous, there is no vaccine for it, so no. But if I have some fever, if I am taking medicines, antibiotics, then how do I know whether the fever is getting cured or not? Yes, Prabhuji, you are the best guide, Is by the temperature should go down. If it is 103, it should go down. But if I am taking medicines going to 104, 105, then something is wrong. Either the medicine is wrong or my taking the medicine is incorrect. The same way, as we are advancing, automatically one should develop distaste for material world. Right now, my current level is, I do have material desires and attachments, but I know from my intelligence that I should not indulge in it, I should control. But at a higher stage, I just do not, I feel it's abominable. It's like somebody is eating nice gajar halwa and you tell him whether you want to eat I will not mention the name, then he will just spit out, "Arey, kya bol diya," So a devotee like Yamunacharya says that when I am now engaged in serving Krishna, I am experiencing newer mellows of bhakti. When I think of material enjoyment, I spit at the thought. So Advaita Acharya's association made Vishwarup completely detached, and then his parents were worried. This is too much Sangha, too much Sadhu Sangha. We must get him engaged. We must keep him home. The best way to get him married. So as they were planning for his marriage, that night Vishwarup left home and he took sannyas. And he got the name, what was the name? Shankararanya Swami. He travelled all over Bharatvarsh and he came to Pandharpur. So here, Shachi Mata was thinking in the mind that this Advaita is Dvaitamaya. Dvaitamaya means full of duplicity. He is not straightforward. Because of his association, I lost one of my sons. So my fear is that my other son Nimai may also be influenced by by Advaita Acharya. So like that she just thought in the mind. And because of that offense, Lord Chaitanya refused to give mercy. This also shows one quality of the Supreme Lord. He is Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. He is equal to everyone. You know? He is, even his own mother, he is completely impartial. Like here in Krishna Leela, we find that Bhaumasur is actually the son of Varahadev, the son of Krishna ultimately. And in the battle, you know, when it was found that Bhaumasur is behaving improperly, he kidnapped so many young princes. So finally Krishna killed Bhaumasur. You know? So Krishna is completely impartial. Samoham, he is equal. Now it may appear to be partial, but that is yayatha mam prapadyanti, according to the feelings of the devotees. So Lord Chaitanya also, he is so impartial that when Chota Haridas committed this mistake, Chota Haridas was very advanced devotee, and his mistake was also Chota. Chota Haridas' fault was very small. But still Lord Chaitanya says, no, I will not compromise. So this is the Supreme Lord. He is kind to all, and he is giving everybody rewards or punishment as to what is best for their purification. So Advaita Acharya, Shachi Mata was denied love of God. And then the devotees asked Lord Chaitanya the solution. And Lord Chaitanya said she should get the dust from Advaita Acharya's feet. So immediately they went to Advaita Acharya respectfully and asked for the dust of his feet. Advaita Acharya asked, why do you want the dust? For Shachi Mata. Just hearing the name of Shachi Mata, Advaita Acharya went into ecstasy. He started glorifying. Shachi Mata is Yashoda. She is the one who is Devahuti. She is the one who is Kausalya. She is Devaki, in whose womb the Supreme Lord, Gaur Bhagavan, stayed in her womb for 13 months. How can I give the dust of my feet? And so saying, he was in ecstasy and he lost external consciousness. The devotees took the dust and Shachi Mata was absolved from the offense. So I told this story just to show how careful we must be. There's one nice story in Vrindavan. Rupa Goswami was witnessing the pastimes of the Lord. And he was completely absorbed, and one elderly Brahmana, old by age, he came to offer pranam. And Rupa Goswami was so absorbed, he was just laughing, looking at the Leela. And he neglected, apparently not purposefully, but because he was absorbed in the Leela, he did not see. So this Brahmana felt little offended. And we know the story later on how it was rectified. So how the little nuances of Krishna consciousness are very important. Small details also. Sometimes we do the big things very nicely, but the small things are neglected. The small things like, let me not hurt even a little ant also. I told this story once about Peter Burwash, you know. I told it here. Peter Burwash was playing tennis, and he received the mercy of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada gave some instructions to him on management also. And one of the games he was playing, he was supposed to stand at a particular place, but he stood there, and last minute he moved to about few feet away. And the result was that because he was at the wrong place, he lost the match. He lost millions of dollars. And then he told the devotees that I was supposed to stand at this place, but there were some ants. So I was afraid that I may hurt the ants. So I lost millions of dollars, but I pleased Prabhupada because the ants were saved. So how many of us are very conscious of ants, especially these Vrindavan ants? Of course, we cannot lovingly call them, but at the same time, we have to be very cautious. One or two important points from the verse. The word Bhagavan is used also here for Kanva, Rishi. The word Bhagavan is actually for Supreme Lord, but sometimes even great devotees are called Bhagavan, like Bhagavan Narad. Correct, Maharaj? Bhagavan Narad bolte hain, Bhagavan Narad, or even Bhagavan Shiva. It doesn't mean that they have become Supreme Lord, but they are so powerful that they are as good as the Supreme Lord. Just like we say for Srila Prabhupada and for the spiritual master, Sakshad Hari Tvena Samasta Shastra, that the spiritual master is as good as Lord Hari. He is not the supreme Lord, but he is to be respected as much because he is doing the confidential service of preaching Krishna consciousness. In fact, it happened once in Prabhupada's Leela. There were some devotees who were preaching like this, that Prabhupada is Supreme Lord. There is some reference like that. And they were saying that Prabhupada is God, but out of humility he is not saying. And Prabhupada was so angry, he gave punishment to those devotees and told them to go out for some time. So one has to be cautious about both things. One is to underestimate the spiritual master, or thinking Guru sha nara matir. That is also an offense. To think that this Guru is an ordinary person. It happens sometimes we think, oh, he is American Guru, he is Indian Guru, or like that. We may be born in America or India, but the Guru should not be identified with on the bodily conception. And Vaishnavera Jati Buddhi, to think of Vaishnav to be like a particular caste. Like we see in Gaur Leela, Ramananda Rai is from a Shudra background. That means Shudra is the lowest in the Varna, four Varnas. And Lord Chaitanya is the Dvija Shiromani, is the best of the Brahmins, Dvijamani. And Lord Chaitanya is taking knowledge from Ramananda Rai, who is apparently from a Shudra background. Why? That answer is given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Kiba Vipra, Kiba Nyasi, Shudra ke na hoy, Jai Krishna Tattva Veti se Guru. That whether one is a Brahmana or a Shudra, it doesn't matter. One who knows the science of Krishna consciousness, he is fit to be a Guru. And just looking at the background of this whole story of Shakuntala, and now how, the son born, we will see that just a comparison about Vishwamitra Muni and Haridas Thakur. Vishwamitra Muni was also a great sage. We read in the Ramayana how much tapasya he performed. There's so much competition between Vasishtha and Vishwamitra Muni. Vishwamitra Muni wanted to become Brahma Rishi, and we hear the stories of how Ramayana is, detailed description are there. But here we find that Vishwamitra Muni, in spite of all the austerities, he just became disturbed by just the little sound of the ankle bells of Menaka. Not that Menaka came in front of him, just by the sound. That means how powerful is the influence of the illusory energy. And these personalities are very advanced, and the time was much more favorable compared to now in Kali Yuga. So this can be a warning for all of us also, how to be very cautious, especially for those in the renounced order, that how one should be very cautious. Lord Chaitanya would tell that Ramananda Rai can do this Leela. He was dressing the Devadasis and teaching them how to dance. But as far as I am concerned, my mind gets disturbed even by a wooden statue. Kashtera Putali, if you see a wooden statue of a woman also. That means Lord Chaitanya is Supreme Lord. Obviously he is not disturbed, but he is showing how a devotee should be so cautious that in dealings with the opposite sex, especially for those in the renounced order life, or even for grahasthas, except for one's lawfully wedded wife. There should be a little fear. Like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was told to meet King Prataprudra. Lord Chaitanya says, no, I cannot meet him. Nishkinchanasya bhagavad bhajan mukhasya. That for one who desires to cross over the cycle of birth and death, to meet a Vishayi, a king with attached to material things, ha hanta hanta vishyanta bhakshanti pisad. It's like drinking poison knowingly. And then the devotees, Ramananda Rai, you see, it's a very interesting story, that Ramananda Rai was invited by the Lord, leave your job, come and stay with me in Puri, we will have Krishna Katha non-stop. And Ramananda Rai is working for King Prataprudra, and King Prataprudra wants to meet the Lord and said, no, I don't want to see your face. It is so embarrassing, like I am the boss of a company and I am not allowed to go for a program, and my employee who is working under me, he gets royal treatment. So King Prataprudra, when Ramananda Rai came to King Prataprudra and said, Lord Chaitanya is calling me, I want to resign from my job and join ISKCON full time. ISKCON means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. So King Prataparudra was so happy. He said, you go, you are so fortunate, the Lord is calling you. But for me, please try to request for me also, whether I can get an audience. You know? There is no irsha, nirmatsar. You know? That Prabhupada writes, when one devotee gets mercy, all others should feel happy. Like we see when Rupa and Sanatan come to meet Lord Chaitanya in Ramkheli, they offer such nice prayers. And then afterward, Lord Chaitanya puts his lotus feet on their heads, gives them initiation. And all the other devotees are happy and they loudly chant, Hari, 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 Hari. So Prabhupada writes, this is the way Vaishnava culture is. When we see some devotee making advancement, we should feel happy. And if we feel happy in others making advancement, then we also make advancement. You know? The principle of Nirmatsarta. So King Prataparudra, he said to Ramananda Rai, you can resign from the job and still you will get salary also, no problem. You can just be with Lord Chaitanya. So Ramananda Rai was very much touched by this. And then Ramananda Rai met Lord Chaitanya and he told Lord Chaitanya about the good qualities of King Prataparudra, that he is so much in the mood of serving the devotees. And Lord Chaitanya did not agree to meet him, but he said, Ramananda, you are a great devotee of Krishna, and because the king is kind towards you, then naturally Krishna will show him mercy. In other words, I will meet him. Indirectly he said. So there the very nice purport, Prabhupada says, Mad bhaktya puja divi kama. That the principle, Krishna explains, that higher than worshipping me directly is to worship my devotee. In the Adi Puran, Krishna says to Arjuna, that one who says, I am your devotee, he is not my devotee. But one who is a devotee of my devotee, he is a devotee. But then devotees, Ramananda Rai say, my dear Lord King is very nice. He is not ordinary king. Lord Chaitanya said, you have a glass full of milk. It's very nice, very sweet. But if you put one drop of liquor in it, it becomes contaminated. It's not fit for consumption. So similarly, the king has very good qualities. He is very generous. He wants to serve the devotees. He is offering the facilities. But he has one bad quality, and that is, he is the king. I don't want to meet him. And later on we see the Lord will meet him. He will embrace him. But at the same time, in such a way that it's not in public notice. Lord Chaitanya meets King Prataparudra in the garden, in the Rath Yatra. The last part of the this is the Jagannath temple, this is the Gundicha. So it's about 3.5 kilometers. And just half kilometer before the temple of Gundicha is an area called Balagandi. And at that time there were many gardens. And the Rath stopped for some time. And we find in Rath Yatra description, many places the Rath would stop. Because apana ichha chale Rath tanite na pare. Nobody can pull the Rath. Like when I first time I went to Rath Yatra in Puri, I asked the Panda, can you tell me what time the Lord will come out? So he became very angry. मैं गुस्सा हुए, बोले आप तो बड़े मूर्ख व्यक्ति हो, you are a fool. And I had just finished my graduation from America, so I was thinking this is not a good, he doesn't understand my glories. But then he told nicely that Jagannath का कोई timetable नहीं होता. उनके timetable पूरी दुनिया पे बनाते हैं. There is no timetable for Lord Jagannath. So during this time, Lord Jagannath stops in Balagandi. There are different bhoga offerings are going on. And all the devotees are taking rest under different trees. Now if you go to Puri, you find there are lodges and buildings and shops, markets. But that time it was just the two temples, and then there is sand all over, and there is the ocean just 2 kilometers away. It's like Yamuna and the different forest. And Lord Jagannath, when the Rath would move, they said in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Lord Jagannath would look at both sides and observe the beautiful forest of Vrindavan. So, and Balagandi, when Lord Chaitanya was resting for some time, King Prataparudra, with the permission of Sarvam Bhattacharya, he went. Sarvam Bhattacharya said, now you go and offer some prayers. And then before going, he took permission and blessing of every devotee. Even Lord Chaitanya, when he left Puri to go to South India, he took blessing of Sarvam Bhattacharya. Sarvam Bhattacharya had just come to the Bhakti path only 1 month back, because earlier he had some touches of Mayavad. But Lord Chaitanya is a sannyasi and he is taking blessings from Sarvabhaumacharya, who is a grahastha. In other words, Lord Chaitanya is showing that we should take mercy and blessings from every devotee. Kaviraj Goswami says, Chota Bada, small devotee, big devotee, I offer my obeisances to all. Because we really don't know, somebody who is very new in bhakti in this birth may have been already doing bhakti for many births. If you think a less advanced devotee to be more advanced, there is no loss. Suppose the devotee is not advanced, and if I give extra respect, there is no loss. But if somebody is very exalted and I don't give respect, then there is great loss. It's a benefit of doubt to give respect to everybody. And respect is not like money, you can give without any loss. Amani na mana dena. This is a very safe principle for bhakti. Amani na mana dena. That just see everybody as superior to oneself. Uttam hai adham kori mane. A Vaishnav, even though he is most exalted, he thinks himself to very low. So King Prataprudra, he offered his pranam, and then we know the story, he massaged the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and sang Gopi Geet. Then he came to that verse, Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam. And Lord Chaitanya was so happy when he came to Bhurida, Bhurida. Lord Chaitanya got up and embraced him. Tumi kon, who are you? The king could have said, I am the king. This whole Rath Yatra I am arranging. But what was the king's reply? Very beautiful verse. We can put it in golden letters in our heart. Raja kahe ami tomar daser anu dasa bhrityera bhritya koro ei mora asha. The king is saying, my lord, I am the servant of your servant, and mora asha, my ambition is to remain the servant of the servant of the servant. He's not saying that I am servant of servant, but later on I will become servant and then I will become master. The material world, when you join a company or factory, you are in the lower post, then you get promoted, then you assistant supervisor, manager, managing director, then CEO, you go higher and higher post. But in bhakti, as you become advanced, you become servant of servant. A new devotee thinks that I must serve Krishna. Another advanced devotee thinks I must serve Guru, who is the representative of Krishna. And even more advanced thinks I must serve the servant of Guru. And even more advanced thinks I must serve servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. There's a nice book named Mukunda Mala Stotra, written by King Kulashekar. There's a verse in that where it says 7 times, Tava Bhritya, 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 Bhrityera, Bhrityera, Bhritya. So, the principle of Krishna consciousness to be servant of servant. And then Lord Chaitanya becomes so happy that he shows all mercy to King Prataprudra, but tells him that do not tell anybody else. Another story in King Pratapradra's life, when during the Rath Yatra, Lord Chaitanya saw that he was sweeping the Rath Yatra, the roads of, and Lord Chaitanya decided, I will show him mercy. And how he showed mercy, that during the Rath Yatra, when Lord Chaitanya was dancing, there were 3 circles for security reason. First was Lord Nityananda, second was Kashishwar, and third was Prataprudra. So he jumped high in the sky and ended up in just very near King Prataprudra. Prataprudra saved him from touching the ground. And then as soon as Lord Chaitanya saw him, he said, oh, chi. I have touched a person who is materialistic. Actually, Lord Chaitanya came by his own reason, but he acted like this. And the king was bewildered. What should I do? Like somebody comes and touches you and then says, oh, you are so dirty. Then Sarvabhaum told that Lord Chaitanya wants to show you mercy, but doesn't want to show everybody that he is showing you mercy. So it's very inconceivable how the Lord's will is. But we know that he is pleased by serving the devotees. That should be the only ambition. Tandera charana sei bhakta sanevas. Birth after birth we can be with devotees and chant the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In that story of King Prataprudra, the last purport Prabhupada says, the highest ambition is to be servant of servant. And Prabhupada gives 3 examples. One is Dhruva Maharaj. When Dhruva Maharaj was asked, what do you want? Servant of servant. Prahlad Maharaj was asked, what do you want? Servant of servant. And third example is Sridhar Kholavecha, who was the banana leaf seller in Mayapur. He was also asked, what do you want? He also said, servant of Sir. So we can pray to Gaur Nitai, Krishna, Balaram, Radha, Shyam, Sundar. We can also be servants of servant and chant the holy name purely. Maharaj, some comments or correction? Yeah. Mike, 1 minute. One minute. Yeah. 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 Past time? One plane crash took place. Just 3 days back. Evening time, 4:30. There was a plane coming from Lahore to Karachi. Just before landing, the last word of the pilot was, we have lost the engine. Engine failure. Complete crash and very, very painful. I mean, no save. Actually, there's 2 people who were saved. That my friend Ramakant Prabhu told me yesterday that 2 people were saved. They jumped out. So, of course, we can understand the law of karma, but still, ultimately, everybody is our, whether India or Pakistan, everybody is part of God. So, death is everywhere. Yeah. Prabhuji, you would like to comment something? Anything you like to say?
Devotees should be very careful about flying because the coronavirus and everything, all these planes are no longer safe. Anything can happen. So we have to be very careful. Avoid flying as much as possible. It's dangerous. You're having crashes like all the time.
Actually, one thing which there was one plane crash which took place about 8-10 years back in India, in Mangalore city near Udupi. This was coming from Dubai directly. And this Mangalore airport is very strange. It is like a table tennis, very, very plain. But just as the runway ends, then there is a down, high valley. It's like on top of a mountain. And the runway is very short. It's not enough for big planes. So like this much is the runway, and the pilot, instead of touching here, he touched after about 100 meters. So he understood that I cannot stop. He again took off. And then the left wing cut the ILS, Instrumentation Landing System. And the left wing got broken, and then the plane fell down. But even after falling down, for a few minutes it did not explode. But they were thinking what to do. But then the plane exploded. But there were 8 passengers who were intelligent. They just took the chance, got the door open and jumped out. So they had to jump 20 feet. They got injured, but they saved their lives. But I think 188 people, 180 died and 8 were saved. In that plane? Bhakti Bhushan Prabhu. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, same plane, huh? Bangalore, huh? And actually, what I learned, one example one devotee gave, when this plane landed, when the plane fell down, they were given caution that you don't jump out, wait, put your seat belts on. But somebody took the risk, he's saved. The material world is like a plane which is crashed, and the politician and the relatives, they are all saying, keep your belt on. Devotees are jumping out of the flight and saving their lives. Sometimes Prabhupada would say, people are saying we are escapists, but what is wrong? The building is on fire, we should escape. So, yeah.
there are three ranks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
First of all, he was intelligent.
Hmm.
He would be not there, he was
Hmm.
again.
Rakhe Krishna. And one more thing happened. It was on 26th of July, this happened, and one of the passengers was supposed to board the flight. By mistake, he didn't see properly. Next day, he came to the airport that this is my ticket. He said, oh, yours is 26, today is 27th. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. No, you didn't make a mistake. You were saved. If you were in that flight, you would have died. And one more devotee, actually, one very unfortunate incident took place. 7 or 8 devotees from Radha Gopinath temple, from the temple where I am, Chowpatty, 7, 8 devotees, they were going in Nepal, Jamsom airport, to Muktinath. And that unfortunate plane crash took place. All of them left. But one devotee, his name is Srivas Ras Bihari Prabhu, his disciple of Jayapatak Maharaj. He is now in Hyderabad. So that devotee was in the same waiting hall. He had the ticket for the same flight. But sometimes the agents, they do overbooking. That plane capacity is 20, they will give 24 tickets. So some 2-4 may be cancelled. So when he reached the airport, he was with those devotees. He became a little friendly. He was not a brahmachari, he was not ISKCON. He was a student, but he was attached to ISKCON, but not initiated. So then he was not allowed. They said next flight. He was so angry, he was calling the agent and telling, I have already paid the money. So they said, no, wait, next flight. And after half an hour, he got the news that this plane crashed. So after hearing this, then decided I must join ISKCON. Because life ka koi bharosa nahi hai. So then he surrendered, and now he's a brahmachari he's from Radha Ras Bihari temple, but now serving in Hyderabad, Radha Madan Mohan. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.